Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Harrison County Library System's online computer classes. My name's Jeff Conwell, and I work up here at the Orange Grove Library. If y'all ever have any questions, please come up and visit or drop me a line at g.conwell@harrison.lib.ms.us or librarydude1999@gmail.com. Okay, this is the second part of our computer graphics class, and it's going to do with Microsoft Paint 3D. Now, our public computers don't have 3D, but this one was so exciting for me that I just thought I had to do this. And if you have any recent model of Paint 3D, you can download. You should have it already on your computer, or if you have an older model, you can always download it from the Microsoft store. But I would highly suggest to try this out if you'd like to do any of the computer graphics. What you're going to do is, once you've got it downloaded, you're going to open it on your computer. This is me just doing that, clicking the little icon, opening Paint 3D. Okay, and then your Paint 3D workspace will open with a blank canvas in the center, and you got your selection tools up here on the top left-hand corner, and you got your drawing tools up on the center of the page, and then on the side you got your view tools where it's a slider bar where you can go zoom out or zoom closer, and then you got your active tool pane. Whichever of these tools you got clicked on, you should get on the side here a pane that displays all the different kind of things you can do with that particular tool. And then you got your colors down there too. And then your basic environment, you got your menu where you can file, save as, print, etc. And then you've got your, like I said, your toolbar over here. This is tabbed on to 3D shapes. Now you can close the pane out if you want, but if you click on that, the shapes will come up right there. But anyway, you can in other words, you can minimize the screen to where you can see everything if you want. And this is the Paint 3D menu. When you click the menu, there's new, open, insert, save as, print, and share. Remember, sharing, you can send it out to another computer, to somebody's email or your email, whatever you want somebody to share it with. Your toolbar close-up here. Now, the name of the project is right up here. You got your menu, there's the 3D shapes. This is going to continue off on the side. You got brushes, 2D shapes, 3D shapes, stickers, text, effects, canvas, 3D library, and then after 3D library, below that you got, next to it, but I made the thing so you could see it up close. It continues on. It says stickers, text, effects, canvas, 3D library. Then you've got your paste, undo, and history. And of course with your minimize, maximize, and exit out buttons right there. And below that you've got select which areas you can crop. Magic select will choose certain areas that you might want to not have to fight the mouse to do. It might select it for you. Then you've got a button that's called Mixed Reality. You got your 3D view. There's your slider bar. And we'll look at these. Your tools includes brushes, 2D shapes, 3D shapes, stickers, text, effects, canvas, 3D library, paste, undo, history, and redo. And your brushes, this is going to give you, it's kind of like a little bit not so clear, but I got a graphic coming up that explains it more. But you just tab over to each different tool that you want to use, and these are familiar to you. Some of them are if you've used Microsoft Paint before. You've got the marker going left to right. Up here, marker, that's your marker. Calligraphy pen right there. Oil brush right there. Watercolor right there. You got your pixel pen. Pixel is a point of light, so it's really fine. You can make some really very small marks on stuff. If you want to just touch stuff up, you've got a, like a glaring gape or something, you can actually use that and clear it up with a pixel pen. Then you got pencil over here. There's an eraser, which always helps, a crayon, a spray can, and then fill. Remember, fill is if you want to get a color, you can use the eyedropper and then click next to it and paint the area with the same color using the, or fill in the whole background of a certain color if you click the paint can. So these are your 2D shapes. Okay, I'm on the 2D tab, and there's your pane there that gives you the shapes. You got lines, and then below that you got shapes. And let's look at these. You got, okay, the lines. You got a line, a 3-point line, meaning the little dots indicate that it's 3 lines. You can make a curve or an arc or whatever. It will go from one point to the next point. You can make a, like a hexagon or whatever. You got your 4-point curve. Notice this, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 little dots. It's 4-point curve. Then you got even a 5-point curve. And then below that, you've got your 2D shapes, and this includes a circle, a capsule, a square, a rounded square, and a triangle, of course. And then you've got a pentagon. Let's see, that's a hexagon, a diamond, a right triangle, and then an arrow. And then you got a pointed arrow below that, an arc, a 5-point star, a 6-point star, a 4-point star, a multi-point star below that. And then you got a speech bubble, a thought bubble, and a cross, and then a check. And then below that you've got a moon, a banner, a lightning bolt, and a heart. Now you can't, I don't know that you can download any more shapes from a 2D shape, but you probably could if you look online, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. Your 2D shapes can be drawn on both 2D and 3D surfaces. Shapes drawn on 3D surfaces will mold themselves to the object's curves. You use the stamp tool to make multiple copies. Click the color box to choose the color. And so here when I drew a star and I put it on the dog, all I had to do was hit the, it made it onto the dog's side of his face. And the stamp is what you do is you take the heart, shape, and then you're going to choose what color you want it to be, and then you hit stamp and it makes another star. But if you put it onto the 3D figure, it's going to mold into it, okay? And to make them pop out, you can go ahead and click 3D automatically. And you got your 3D shapes. They have a library, a really pretty big library of different shapes that you can get from the 3D. And then you've got your freehand tools that you use. This is called a tube brush. And then you've got a soft edge, a hard edge. Like if you're making a cloud, you could use a soft edge. If you're making somebody's legs or something, or a tail of a dog, you can put a 3D doodle, make it a tube brush. You got your basic 3D shapes, a cube, a sphere, a hemisphere, a cone, a pyramid. Then below that you got a cylinder, a tube, and then a capsule, a curved cylinder, and then a donut. And you got three main 3D models. Your set 3D models are a man, a woman, a dog, a cat, and a fish. And then they got 3D doodle. When you do these are the shapes, you got the tube, what that looks like. You've got your soft edge and then your hard edge shapes. And the tube size indicates the limit, the indicator. So you can make this bigger or smaller. But when you draw the shape out, when you get back to the original dot, that's when the shape is actually rendered into 3D. You got a bunch of stickers that you can use. And you can make your own sticker or make a custom sticker. And then these are the default stickers that they have. You've got textures. When you click on, this is stickers and this is textures. And then files that you've made, you want to add like a thing to it on the picture. Using a picture that you've already have on your computer, you click the file and it'll open up to the whatever it is, whatever image you have. And then the textures, this is what we have. You don't have a whole lot, but that's like wood, that's stone, I think that's fir, gravel, trees, or greenery. And I'm not sure about that. It looks like cork, and that's wood there too. That's bark, actually, not wood. So anyway, your text, you got your 2D text, which is, if you're used to Word, everybody knows, this is your font size, that's the font style. You got your color, bold, italic, or underscore. If you want it centered, or left justified, centered, or right justified. And you can fill the background out by checking that box. On 3D text, this is what it's going to look like. It's the same, just a little bit bigger. And then I put the 94 to be the size. And you see the difference. You're seeing this from an angle. Okay? So, the effects. Now, if you play with the effects, you can see how you can change the lighting of your 3D render there. And it really is really cool because you don't have to, I've done a lot of stuff with Microsoft Paint where if I want to make a highlight on something, I have to see, like I have a plain image of a dog, then I have to go and make a lighter brown on top to make the shadow, like if it's actually painting it. But this does it automatically by just moving this little symbol of the sun around, and it changes the angle of the light. So anyway, that's a really cool tool to see. And then the canvas, when you got the canvas, if you put the canvas on or take it off, it's going to have the, you show the canvas. So when you click on transparent canvas, if you make it transparent, all it is going to have the background there for it. So you can actually, this gives you like a horizon, so I move the dog down to do. And you got a lot of different tools. We did the, with the lighting and stuff like that, but when you set it down, you can put, like, if I'm looking for a ball here, I want to add a ball to this figure, I choose from the library a ball, and then I'm shrinking it down by clicking on the handle. Like, you got to remember the little white dots are handles, and then this right here will rotate it, so you turn it around and it's like at an angle. You can even move the ball around to see the different colors instead of just straight up like that. And yeah, if I would have done that before, but anyway, if I was doing it right now. Okay, this is pasting, and what you do is you can make this, I'm copying, I've got an eye I like from the figure, the thing I got from the library, and I just copied and pasted it. Once I got it the right size, just move it to the other side to make another eye for it. So just copy and then paste to put it on like that. Now, undo and redo is really handy because, like here I am, I had made all these stripes on a cat, and I'm taking them off, and then if I want to redo it, I just click the redo button and it makes them back. So if you get a little bit lost on something, always hit that redo button. It's like the Control and Z, and that would be the same command, I think, if you used it for Paint 3D as it would if you're doing anything else. But undo and redo. Then you got your history, which always helps because you don't like the look all of a sudden of it, so you want to go backtrack, and you just take it goes all the way back to where you can see where, and then you can stop it by clicking the slider bar that you see at the top. This is like from start to finish, and then when you stop like halfway through and you just want to change the coloring, and just before you put the color in, then you can go from there, and it'll make a new history for you. But that is a really good tool also. Then they've got mixed reality, which is really awesome because you can make 3D characters and then put them into a picture, and it will actually, because of the lighting, it will actually make the lighting to be making it look like it's actually there. So this is a figure we're going to do in a minute. I want to make mention, though, of your axes. You've got what's called the y-axis, the x-axis, and the z-axis. Those are the 3 dimensions. We're 3-dimensional creatures, So you've got what's called the sagittal axis, the frontal axis, and the longitudinal axis. So those are things to remember because you're going to be looking at this in 3 dimensions, but remember just X, Y, and Z is how they designate that. Now, to size 3D objects, you use the corner handles. Remember we talked about last time these little dots? So when you click on those, you can shrink it down by bringing it, to the center, or if you want to make it bigger, you can click on the handle and you'll see this cursor that's right now is an arrow. It'll turn into a double-ended arrow with 2 arrows at the either end. That means that you can stretch it out or shrink it down. But this is your Z-axis rotational tool. That is your X rotational tool. And then your Z-axis rotational tool moves the object forward and backwards. And then you got your Y-axis rotational tool. So if move the objects up and down or right and left by clicking on the object and dragging it to position. You move the object forward or backward by using the Z-axis position. You turn the object around using the X, Y, and Z rotation tools. So anyway, and it kind of is intuitive. You see that means to spin it around, and that means to spin it up and down, and that means just to go around it. Okay, but if you click on this one, you can bring it forward and backward. Now, it is set up for where, a lot of people have different devices. If you got, like I have a Microsoft Go tablet, and if you have a Microsoft Go or Pro, you can use this as well because it's loaded onto it automatically. But with just a regular mouse, we'll look at how that works. You got a touch, for the pads, you can just touch it. Or if you have a pen, like wherever you call it, those kind of pens that you can use with a touch screen, you can use that, or you can even use a keyboard. But I always suggest using the mouse, but that's just me. This is using the mouse free rotate tool. With it, I'm just clicking on that little icon at the bottom of the dog, and just move it around moving around my mouse so I can look at it from any angle. And then you got your zoom action. If you look at me on the mouse, I'm using the rotate, the little ball there, to zoom in and out on the view of it. So that's on the touch screen. Remember, if you took my iPad class, when you can move stuff, just tap on it and swipe your hand in any direction. And this is me with the Windows Go device. I'm just putting my finger on the screen and moving it around. And then I'm pinching it and closing it, my fingers, where I can zoom in and out. That's how you would do that. And then you got your pen. You press the Alt button, and then the pen will allow you to move it around as well. I think if you use the pen by itself, it should work too. But you got to click on the little icon to move it. See how I've got the directional thing, and my pen staying on that little button. Because if I don't, what I do is when I'm tapping off the little button and I tap on the screen at the end, you see I'm tapping on it, but all it does is make shapes. So you got to tap on that little button for it to move, the little axis handle. Now with the keyboard, you got to pan is Alt, and then you use the arrows on your keyboard, and to zoom is page up and page down, and then you got your reset, it's just to hit home to get out of that. And okay, now this is a little tutorial on how to make a donut using Microsoft Paint 3D. So if you don't already have it from the app, you can get it from the App Store and install it. So the first step was to get it. Second step is to click on the 3D shapes, and we're going to choose a circle. I could have gone straight to donut, but I want to show you how to make it from scratch. So you got that's the outer circle. So you just choose circle and make it big. The next one, you're going to choose another circle, but you're going to size to refit it inside the first circle. Okay? And then you're going to use the eraser tool under brushes. You click on the brushes tab to erase the outer edge of the circles because we're going to make a bite mark. Okay? And then we're going to use the marker, and you can choose the size to be bigger if you want, but use the marker to outline where you think the bite mark would be. Step 6, you're going to click on the 3D shapes, and you're going to choose the 3D Doodle Tool. And that's the soft edge tool. And you're going to draw over the outline of the 2D donut. So here's me drawing the outline. It takes a little, finesse with the mouse to do it, or with your pen or whatever. But you just draw it. Don't worry about it being too perfect because it's a donut, and no donut that I've ever seen has been perfectly shaped. In fact, it looks really artificial if it is. So here I am curving over the bite marks, going to the inner circle. Remember, we're going to that point where we started from for it to complete. So we're going there, and then that little bit more. Okay? Now, the computer takes into consideration the shape we're making, and we just made a 3D donut. This is your basic shape, but you're going to want to get rid of your blueprint of the 2D donut. So you click and drag on the 3D donut, and then you're going to hit delete to make the 2D. You got to click on the 2D donut, or you can highlight it, and then you hit delete, and it goes away. Now you're going to drag the donut back to the center of the screen, and what you're going to do is now you're going to click the paint bucket tool at the top of the page, and you're going to choose a color. So I was going down to the basic dough, fried dough color. To me, that's the good color for it. So we're going to fill the donut with that color. And then with the 3D, the interaction tools, remember those are the little vectors, the X, Y, Z axis. And you're going to take the donut on its side. When you highlight, click and drag over that, you got the interaction tool show up, and you want to look at it from the side. Okay? And once you do that, you can click on the side of the donut and just, with the mouse on the little white handle, you pull it out, and it's going to make it thicker. Then you're going to take under the paintbrush tools, take the spray can tool and choose a lighter color and spray the middle of the donuts, front, back, and sides. So you have to use the rotation tool to get all around it. But you see how they got the little circle there at the bottom. It's got the little vectors. You can tell what direction you're going with. Sometimes you might tip it over, but you have to go back to it and get it the angle that you can use to put the spray paint in. And it's pretty smooth edges with the spray can. I'm really impressed with it. And then I used to do t-shirts, and that was a big thing. Make a good chrome if you were using that in a metal thing. Okay, now that you got all the sides, well, we've got to do the back side. It doesn't take really that long to do, but it is time consuming for sure. Okay, once you got the color sprayed on, you're going to use the same color, but you're going to go back to your brushes and use the crayon tool. You're going to color the inside of the donut where the bite mark is. So here I am coloring the inside of the donut because, it's the outer part of the donut that's the dark brown, it's fried, but the inside's all yum. So we're spraying on that. It doesn't have to be super exact. Then you're going to use the vector tool to turn it, and you're going to spray the other side, color the other side with the crayon tool. Okay? So that's how you do that. And then to adjust the crayon tool to a smaller size to fill in the gaps, you can use a darker color, outline where the donut crust meets its inside. So we're just going to kind of like give it a little bit of, you know how it's underneath the layering, so it's not just goes from one color to another. You can give it kind of like, you know, get a little bit of a 3D effect, but it's going to have like a little edge around it. So if that's the size, you know, you can just, because it is a fried crust. I mean, it does have a little bit of a thickness to it, just not that much. I think that's actually probably a little bit too thick. Okay? And then you're going to use the vector tool, and you can do the other side. I'm going to rotate that. Now, I may need to, I got to move my thing to where I can see what I'm doing. So you're constantly positioning the object, and you're looking at it from every angle, and you're making touch-ups using the paint tools. So I'm outlining the bite mark. Okay? So then you're going to adjust the donut so you see its top view. And you take the 3D Doodle Tool, the soft edge, and choosing a color, you're going to draw along the top of the donut where you imagine the icing to be. So I'm choosing the soft edge tool, Doodle Tool, and I'm just drawing where I think that the icing would be. Now I didn't make any drips on this. I'm just outlining basically the highlighted part of the top of the donut. Okay, when I get to that little where I started, see I got the shape there indicated that I drew out. And then I can color the shape to be the color that I want. If I click on the shape again, actually I think I'm probably drawing it out. It's the next slide. Okay. This is me. I've got the shape clicked on, and now when I bring it forward, it's going to show me the color of that I put in there. Okay, so click the outline of the icing and use the Z position to move it forward so that it rests on the top of the donut. It may take some adjusting. And then what you want to do is click on the Select tool and drag your mouse over the whole donut, right-click and choose Group to group the donut and the icing together. Remember we talked about that last time, how if you want to make two elements, you know, together to unite them, you click the Group tool, and now they're going to be, I'm just going into the gray area, and I'm dragging my mouse over the whole thing, and then I click Group to make them one unit. And then you want to pan around the donut to make sure that the icing is actually on the donut, not floating above it. You might have to adjust the X, Y, and Z axes. This can be difficult, but be sure to ungroup the icing before you try to move it. Okay? So that looks good. Now you're going to add some shapes from the 3D toolbar. Eyes can be circles. Use the tube brush tool to make arms and legs, and then you choose the colors. So here I am making eyes and arms from my little donut. So I choose a circle, I copy, I push it out to make sure it's above the icing, and then I can copy it and paste the eye. I'm talking on the left hand screen right now, and then I make one eye, and that other one needs to come out further. So what I'm going to do is I highlight it, and then I bring it out. I think I actually have to turn it because it's on its side. So here I am turning it, and then I'm positioning it. but it needs to come out, and I'm using my my tool there where I can look at it above. Or you can pan above it and look at it above. Now on the right hand side of the screen, what I'm using is the soft tool brush doodle thing to make the arms and the legs. Well, the arms right now. To give dimension to the legs, what you want to do is turn it on the side and thicken like you did with the donut. You adjust for angle and copy and paste to make two. So here I am just using the soft edge tool to make it like an L shape for the foot, but I turn it on its side, then I click on the little handle and I stretch it out. Okay? And then I'm going to use remember it's the left hand side of the button that will allow you to see it from the angle. But I'm copying and pasting two of them, and I'm just adjusting the longitudinal axis that way. Now I'm going to click, that's the button that you click to see the 3 dimensions of it. I want to go back for a second and see the name of that button that you have, on the axes. That's called the sagittation, the z-axis position tool is what you click at to see everything in the 3 dimensions. From above, so you can tell how everything's positioned. Okay. So, anyway, okay, this is where we were. Okay, putting the eyes on. Now you can add these were me putting the shapes in and all that. Now that you have got the legs and the little arms done, you can you can click on the 3D library to add a hat, gloves, whatever you want to put. I want to put some lips on, so I'm grabbing these lips and I'm making the little lips. And then that's on the right hand side I'm talking about. This one I'm choosing gloves. It took me a while to pick out the gloves that I wanted. So, and then you want to position it to make sure that they're going to be actually on the surface. So you use that z-axis to make sure you can see it, that it's actually on the object, on the donut. So I'm just putting in the glove now. I'm talking on the left-hand side as I'm going through everything. But that glove is not actually angled right because his thumb is not going to be below. So what I've got to do is I've got to rotate that to make it to be the other side. But I'm copying and pasting it. Now I could probably rotate that glove that's on the right-hand side, left-hand side there, put his thumb on the right side, on the correct side. But anyway, it's the little things, guys. But let's go to the next slide. You can create your own shapes by using the 3D tools. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a little ribbon for my pink donut lady. Just angle something together, and then I'm going to copy and paste it to make the other part of the ribbon. And then I hit rotate or copy and paste, and I then move it to the other side. Ooh. It takes a little getting used to that, but then I'm going to group them together to make one unit by clicking in the gray area. And I slide the mouse over that, and then I hit group, and now they're one piece. I put it on top, but I need to bring it forward. I also want to angle it to the side, but I'm using the Z-axis tool to bring it forward. Little bow, okay? So we got that. Now, to group all the items together, you want to, before you do that, pan around to make sure everything's the way you want it. Make sure you ungroup it first. If you have to adjust anything, then you're going to click and highlight everything and click group. So here I am checking out to make sure everything's positioned right. So what I'm doing is ungrouping to move the foot up a little bit. And then I'm going back to clicking and dragging, highlighting everything, and grouping them back together again. Okay? So that's how you do that. Then you can put it in the real world, which is really the most awesome thing for me. My art comes alive. The first thing you want to do on your computer is to make sure that your camera is on. If it isn't, you have to go to your computer settings, you enter camera and scroll down to the app where you'll find the 3D viewer. And then once you allow it to access your camera. So here I am looking at my apps, I say 3D viewer, I want to make sure that it's on. So this means that when I click with Microsoft Paint 3D program, when I click mixed reality, it's going to activate my camera. And it might take a New York minute if you got a lot of stuff on your computer like I have on mine at home. And you see how they got the little icon there with the cube coming through the computer. Okay, then it loads. Okay, there you see me. And what I'm doing is I click on the figure, and now it's going to put my little donut lady into the picture. When you get it up, you're going to see the figure in the picture, and you're going to position your camera where you want and click where you want the image to go. So I'm clicking on the little figure, and then when I point to my mouse, see what I'm doing is the figure's in the picture, but I'm using my little cursor on my mouse to click where I want the figure to go, and it follows the arrow and will go down where I want it to. Just click and drag your mouse, and you put your mouse there. Notice it's even got the shadow. It's just so awesome. I mean, I really do like that. Got the little shadow. You can manipulate the image by simply dragging it around. Use the mouse wheel or pinch your fingers to enlarge or shrink it. So I'm using my mouse wheel. I can make it as big as I want. Look at that shadow. That's pretty cool, huh? And then once you get it the way you want to, you can click on the camera icon on the right side of the screen to take a picture. See right here, I've got the image the way I want it. I'm going to click that button right there, and it takes a picture of what we're seeing. So now I got a picture of a little donut lady standing in front of my computer, or actually my iPad in that case. But I mean, look, there's the shadow. All the highlights are coming down from a natural way the camera is. And I guess the program knows where the light source in the picture is, so it makes the image to have the same lighting as your camera is. Now, if you take a bunch of pictures and you put them together, you can actually make another little movie like we did with the PowerPoint. I'm using PowerPoint and put it together like a GIF image, or you can just use the image and go to a site online where you can put them together. And this is a repeating GIF image. I actually went to a site where you can make a GIF by inserting individual photos, and then it repeats it. So I just saved that, made a little film of me dunking the donut lady. Ah! Okay, so if you have any questions, guys, I really would love to hear from you. You can send me pictures and comments to g.conwill@harrison.lib.ms.us or librarydude1999@gmail.com. I want to thank everybody who's been patient with me and doing these online computer classes. We're actually going to be saving them, putting them on YouTube at some point, and I'll get back with y'all on that. But we're going back to live classes, meaning people. So bring a mask and come see me, or don't bring a mask and come see me, but I hope to see y'all soon, and thanks again for watching. Y'all take care, and God bless everybody. Hey everybody, and like the dear late Yogi Berra used to say, it ain't over till it's over. I want to show you how to do a Christmas wreath with 3D Paint, Microsoft 3D Paint. So here I am scrolling down where it says Paint 3D. I'm clicking on the app, and I'm going to click New to create a new thing. And I can use, these are different suggestions, but I'm just going to click on New again. There's my picture. Make sure that I'm actually recording still. Okay. So I go back to Paint 3D right here. And now I am going to make, instead of making the circle and all that, I'm going to choose a 3D shape, and I'm going to choose the donut. And then I just draw the donut out, and there you go. It's a nice healthy size for a wreath. Now, when I click on, remember these are the vectors to turn it around and everything, so I can see it in 3D too. I'm going to add some of the leaf texture that we saw earlier by double-clicking on it and then going to the stickers and choosing the leaf. And then when I click on canvas, I can actually highlight the whole thing. And when I say stickers, I just got to click on part of it. It's not going to do the whole thing. It will if I click on the thing and spread it out. Like, watch, I'm going to do it again. And then I click here, and you see how I can just stretch it out over the shape of it if I want to make the leaves look a little bigger, even really big if I want. And a wreath would be more bigger leaves than the small bushy thing that we see in the default with the stickers. So I can say, when I hit check, I go and do it again, stickers. And it's kind of like when you spray painted the donut, you do everywhere on it, and Okay. And then I say check. And I'll make another one. And check that. Put another section over here. And then, okay, check that. Click the sticker. The texture. Now, when I click this, I can pan around. Remember how we were talking about before? When you pan around, you can see the sections that you need to put. So I've got this whole backside to do. So I'm going to do the same thing. Stickers. Click. There's a part of it. Check. And I want to get the whole thing covered. So I'm not being too careful with it. I just want to get it done. And I hope y'all are learning a lot of fun stuff here. Because for me, it's all about fun. And put some more over here. Now, the sides of it are going to be needing it too, so I got to turn it on its side. But every time you're done with it, you click that little check mark. And then just a little bit over there on the side. Okay, check that. Now let me look around the side. I'm going to pan around it using the longitudinal axis. There's some places that I'm missing, and so I'm going to hit the stickers again. Click right there. I can actually make more of them over that part that's bent, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to use the longitudinal axis, or the vertical axis rather, to go around it and see if I'm missing any parts. There's a little bit of that I don't like, so I'm going to go ahead and add another sticker right there. Okay, looks good. So when I turn it around now, I can see I got most of it covered up, maybe except for the inside. That's going to be the hard part, but let me see if I can even do that, because it might show up. Oh, there it goes. Good deal. And one more time, pan around. See if I can see any on the inside of the other part. No, it looks actually really good. So that's a wreath. Now I want to put in some holly. Put some holly berries in it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 3D Library. I'm connected to the internet, so I can look up holly. Just type in holly. And I'm given some choices. That's the closest thing I have to anyway. And so once it's loaded, you can see it's going to be way too big. Now you could do it one of two ways. You could either have them like decorative on the side like that, or you could bury the holly leaves on the side by clicking the vertical, where you can see how it's get absorbed, because it's going to be in the middle of the wreath. And this is where, when you pull it out, it's going to be on the outside part of the wreath. So I'm going to maybe just a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that won't look too bad. So I can click on the image, right click, copy. I'm going to hit paste, and I'm going to paste it in different places on the wreath, like on a cross. So I'm going to hit that, right click, and I hit paste. There's another one. It's the same exact depth as the other one is, so it's not going to look too strange. And then I'm going to put another one. See, I'm going to hit paste again, right click, paste. And the other one disappeared. Don't ask me why. I think I have to be off of it from being highlighted. So if I click that and then I hit paste again, what happens? We're going to get another one. There you go. When I hit paste, because the other object was already highlighted, it replaces it with whatever. Okay, let's say now I want to put in a ribbon. Okay, so let me see if I can find a ribbon by going to on the 3D library and find a ribbon. I'm typing in ribbon. Ooh. They got a lot of ribbons. I want to use this one with some long ribbon, but let's see how that looks. First of all, I'm going to add that right there, the bow. Looks good. Of course, it's way too big. And I can put this on the top, put it on the bottom. I kind of like it on the bottom. Why don't I take this holly here, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just clicking on the rotational tool to flip it over. Now I can move it up to the top. I made more holly than I thought I did. I'm going to take that one out by just hitting delete. Let me put my ribbon up. Okay, now that I've got it highlighted, I can put it up. And now I'm going to put some ribbons below. So let me go to the 3D library again, and I got my ribbon still up. So I'm going to take this ribbon, and of course that's way too big. So I'm going to do this. I want to make this to be, it's going to be hidden behind that ribbon. So what I'm going to do is bring this maybe a little bit forward or send this ribbon backwards. But before I do that, I need to colorize the ribbon. So what I do is with the brush tool, because I have this highlighted, when I go to brushes, and say I use the crayon. Let's try it again. Actually, let me try the paint bucket and see what that does. Oh, okay, it's on blue. I don't want it to be on blue. I want it to be on red. So, let's see what happens then. Okay. Okay, there you go. And then, let me make another one. So I'm just going to highlight this ribbon. Actually, sometimes if you hit canvas and you're having a problem grabbing the object, now, okay, there it is. I'm going to just click on the object, right click, copy, right click, paste. And then when I do that, I can right click again, and then I can rotate it. And I'm going to rotate it horizontally. So now I got two ribbons. But I still need to put the the bow in front. So I could do that simply by moving the vertical axis. See how far out that those ribbons are? They need to come closer. So what I'm going to do is click on that, and I'm going to push it back into, actually the holly even. Nope, doesn't do it. Well, anyway, I'm going to move the ribbon forward and see what that looks like. And then move this. You want to make sure that you hit Control and Z if you get stuck. I got to click this ribbon again and bring it forward again. Okay, now, even though it's not really, if I get the 3D viewer out, you see how far that is. If I click on this, is it going to let me go back and do it? I don't know, but I can try. So bear with me here. Let me do the 3D viewer, see how close it is. See, it's not even on top of the wreath actually. So let me go 3D viewer, it needs to come a lot further back. So what I do is click on that and almost. Okay, that's good. Now I can take the ribbon and do the same thing by just pushing it into that right there. You don't see it, the back side of it, which is fine, but neither does it look like it's going into the bow. So let me do this. 3D viewer again. I need to push. Oh. Push this into 3D viewer. About there. Okay. And then take that and bring it out a little bit. Just enough to where it shows. I might even move it around a little bit. Still looks weird, doesn't it? Well, don't worry. This is all about playing. I can bring, well, first of all, I'm going to just bring the ribbon down right there. Then I got to take this ribbon and bring it, like say, right there. Okay. Now, to group them all together, you click and drag over the whole thing, and then you right-click on it, and you can hit Group, and now everything's one unit. So if I hit the rotate like that, you see how it looks. It's kind of weird sticking out like that, but real ribbons do that. Now, if I want to put it in a 3D behind me, say, hanging up on a wall, it can be really difficult, but I'm going to show you a picture in a minute of me holding one in my hand like they did the donut. Well, thank you again for watching, and we will see you soon.